Hi, welcome back to another episode of Coldstream Rod Shop. I'm Derek Fraser. In this week's episode, we're going to do something a little different. We took a little bit of break over the Christmas holidays here took 4 or 5 days off, so haven't got really much to show you on particular projects. But what I'd like to do is introduce or reintroduce or give you an update on all the different projects we have in the shop. So since I retired from my daytime job back in October, a lot more work has come into the shop than what I anticipated, which is kind of a good thing. It's given me quite a variety of things to work on and a couple new customers. The project you see in front of us is the 34 Ford chassis. Now, we've done one before. When this came in, it was basically similar to the one the gentleman had before, which was basically going to be put the front end on, put the rear end on, and then basically set up the brake pedals and get them all bled and everything else, and then out it would go to the next step of his particular project. What he saw was that we put a Y block and a transmission in our 32 Ford, and his intention, or I think it got changed along the way once he saw us do this, he wants us now to carry on with this 34 chassis, finish the front end, put the rear end in, which it just arrived yesterday. And then what he's done is he's given us a junk Y block here. We have a transmission and the bell housing is coming. So what he wants us to do is make up the engine mounts and the transmission mounts to put a Y block engine, and it's a T5 transmission out of a Mustang into the 34 frame. He's also supplied a cowl for us so that we can position it properly. There will be a radiator coming also, so he wants it basically to do the same as what we did, get that Y block in there between the firewall and the radiator, get it at the right angle. He's also supplied us a transmission mount, I think was made by Chassis Engineering, so we're going to drill out the original cross member and put that in. So he wants this one to be pushed a little further along than the last one. It'll have, like I said, all the brakes, the engine, transmission, all the Blake's bread. We're going to do our little toggle mechanism that we used in the brake pedals like we did on the first one. So that's the 34 Ford chassis project. Another thing that, as a result of me making all the videos over the past couple of years, I made a lot of sheet metal pieces for 32 Roadsters and 32 5-window Coupes, and I still get the odd person that will reach out to me and says, hey, can you make them for me? We don't make a lot of these, and that's not what we're here to do. We're basically here to show you how to make them themselves. But a lot of these parts, I've made up the bucks for them. I can reproduce the parts. So for those people that have reached out to me and wanted me to make some of these parts for the 32 5-window and 32 Roadster, well, we're making some. We've got a couple orders here that we want to fill up. So I have that on my plate. These parts up above here are actually for the 9-inch Ford rear end that goes into this 34 chassis, which is transverse leaf springs. It's something a little different. I think I didn't mention that but I mentioned it in the 34 chassis video. The other project we have, of course, is our 32 Ford Roadster. We covered this in a couple different episodes. At this stage of the game, we've got the engine, the transmission in. The next step will probably be, we've got to fix the firewall, make the firewall complete, then start working on the floor, put the steering column in, and then the brake pedal. That'll be the next step with it. Once that's done, I think what we're going to do is going to take the body off, clean the body up, and put a coat of epoxy primer onto it, because it's been sitting here just a little bit too long. There's some flash rust onto it, so we want to get that moved along and start getting this project rolling. We've ordered a hood for it. We've got a gas tank coming, and there was a couple of other major parts that we ordered too, so that this project will move along throughout 2024. Then the other project that we've been working on is the 40 Plymouth. The 40 Plymouth, we're at the stage now where we've ordered a bunch of parts to basically set up all the brakes, run the brake lines. We've got headers. The gentleman that owns this, he's asked us to do more work than originally planned. So this project, as far as we know right now, will basically be brake lines, all of the brakes, an exhaust system, then strip it down, paint the frame, put everything back into it again, And then he has sent us the 40 Plymouth body. He did have, it's sitting outside, that's why I'm pointing out the window here. We'll see it in a few minutes when we go out. But the 40 Plymouth body is going to go on. He wants us to do some sheet metal work, do the floor work, maybe put the steering column in. So again, this project is moving further and further along and doing more and more work with it. Not sure how much further than that it'll go, but watch along on this one. You'll see how far this one goes. So what I'd like to do now, I'll take you over to the other garage and we'll show you some projects over there. So here's the 40 Plymouth coupe body. It's actually quite sound. Most of the damage, I think the gentleman told me, I think it dropped. So when he was taking it off, so there's some work to be done on the quarter panels. I know the floor is has to be, it's been cut out, so I've got to put a floor into it for him, but there really isn't anything significant. He basically wants us to get it back on the frame, you know, fix up any kind of rust holes, which is nothing compared to what we saw when we were doing the 5-window coupe. Get it back on the chassis, and then probably put the fenders on and the radiator. I think it's going to leave after that, but who knows? We'll see how it goes. So over here in called the new garage, where we keep our cars, we have a couple projects here. Some of the work that we're going to do, like our Model A sedan, basically is done, except from the belt line up, there's basically no upholstery. So our intention is to put the upholstery around it and do the headliner on our Model A this year. The other two major projects over here, I've laid most of the parts out here. We have an original 32 Ford Roadster. We've introduced it before, but I've taken all the parts and laid them out. We've had a few more parts come in so that we can get this one going. We have, as a backup plan, 2 brand new rear quarters, because I'm not sure how good the original one is. So we've got a deck lid, we've got quarters, we've got the rear half of the 32 Roadster, we've got an original firewall, we have an original cowl from South Africa, so it's right-hand drive, we'll just move it over. We have, I think, a total of 6 doors. We also have the sub rails that will go to put it together. And then sitting on top of the 32 sedan up there, we've got a new floor. And then within the 32 sedan, there's also some more bits and pieces. So from an inventory point of view, I think we're 95% there to basically start kicking this one off. But in order to kick this one off, one of the other projects in the other garage has to move out. So I've done, I think, 4 Brookville Roadster bodies from scratch. So doing an original is right basically in my wheelhouse. This shouldn't be too much of a problem to put this together and resurrect it. The 32 sedan project has yet to be determined as to how far we're going to go with this one. But the same gentleman that owns the Roadster owns the 32 sedan. As you can see, someone has cut away the wheel wells, which is fine for him because his vision on this basically is to have slightly enlarged wheel wells anyways, and he's going to be running these big, I think they're 18 or 19-inch tires. They're pretty darn big. And then he wants the top of the car wedge chopped. So I think it's somewhere in the magnitude of 3 inches and 3 or 4 inches in the front and 2 inches in the back. So that's kind of his vision for this, and that's what he's been talking to us about. But we'll get his Roadster going first, and then we'll get this one going along with it. Now over on the other side, if I can get over there, we have our 32 Ford pickup. Now our 32 pickup, again, it's much the same as the Model A. We've finished the interior, we've done the door panels. I'm not sure if the camera lady can see or not, but what we have left to do to finish this is we've going to reupholster the seat, and then the same thing, we're going to finish upholster the back and put a headliner in it. And then the front hood is over there. It's all painted, it's just never been fitted on. So if any of you have been watching the 32 pickup from the beginning to the end, one of the things that happened to us was, I think on the second drive out, the front axle broke. As a result of that, you know, we got a brand new front end for it, brand new forged front axle, all the pieces were fixed. But when that happened, it actually cracked the inside of the fenders. So what I've got to do through 2024 is basically take the front fenders off, redo the bodywork here. You can just barely see it. We drove it all through it last year. Nobody noticed it unless I told them, but I know it's there. So we'll take the fenders off, repaint those, put the hood on, finish the interior. So that's what we have to do on the 32 Ford pickup. Last but not least is the 73 Midget, which is kind of odd for, I guess, our shop here because we're into early Fords and that. But the 73 Midget, it's been an off again, on again kind of project. It basically just has to be put back together again. You know, we've got the roof for it, got to do a little upholstery work. And then I took this out over the summer and it has points and condensers onto it. So we got halfway down the road and I think either the points went or the condenser went. I towed it back and stuck it in the garage, and I'll have to fix that in 2024. But our plan with the 73 Midget is to basically complete it, fix it all up, put the roof onto it, and more than likely sell it. And unfortunately too, the 32 pickup, our plan with that is to finish it and then actually put it for sale. Nothing wrong with it. We just got to move on to other stuff. We can't keep everything. Be nice if we could, but that's the plan for the 32 pickup, is finish it and then actually move it along. So that's basically a summary of all the stuff in our shop. Hopefully you'll join us throughout 2024 and follow along as we work on those projects. If you really want to support us, we've got Coldstream Rod Shop t-shirts. We'll show you a picture at the end of it. If you're interested in buying one of those, they're $25 US plus postage. Please reach out to us if you want to support our channel by buying a t-shirt. But that's it for now. We'll see you in the new year. Please like, share, tag, and subscribe. And send me your comments, and see you next week.